Good morning. Well, it's morning in Australia anyway. Very excited to be online this morning, actually. It's freezing where I am in the depths of winter. My level of freezing, probably not yours if you're in the US. I'm hoping that this frequency catches a few people live. That'd be awesome. Hoping you come into the room. Let's have a chat. Bring all your questions. Maybe we've got time for some readings. And if not, the replay will go up on the homepage soon. So super excited to be doing this for you all. Lives are interesting, it's even though I'm preparing my frequency and my energy and talking to my guides, you never really know whose energy you're feeling coming in as they show up. And the idea is, the way that we learn it at Ankara is, if you end up doing any kind of psychic reading or mediumship, any of those skills are directly related to what spirit guide you discover in our courses. And we have one called that we label the divination guide. So they are a specific guide that's going to help you with all your divination skills. Now, I often say in my courses, they're often the weird ones. The witches, the shapeshifters, the old medicine men and women, they can be very skilled and very great at reading anything, really. And they have that ability to come through and channel through you. So it's usually our divination guide that we use for trance channeling as well. And they have the capacity to read and see everyone that's going to show up, but also everyone that could watch it in the future. It's fascinating. So I don't have that ability myself. I use my guide and she tunes into what the message needs to be for everyone that might show up in the room. She can see that, I can't. And who might see it all the way into the future. Hey, Luke, thanks for joining me. Hope you are well, my friend. Luke, let me know if you have any questions. You are first in the room, so I'm more than happy to answer your questions in detail, and I'm more than happy to offer you a reading as well. So, ball's in your court, my friend. But I will keep on talking about the divination guide. Particularly when people do a lot of mediumship and trance channeling, depending on who they're channeling with. I personally don't let spirits into my body. I don't do mediumship. Only I do it with one guide, which is my divination guide, which I know back to front. We've been together a long time. We work well together. And you'll probably notice when she comes in, sometimes my voice changes a little bit. It usually gets a bit faster, and then all this information comes through rather quickly. So we work together. I'm not a channeler that allows her in fully and then just does a transmission. I like that we work together so that it's part me, part her, just navigating the space together, because sometimes people need my skills and sometimes they need hers. So pretty interesting. Hey, Bubbles, darling, welcome. Nice and early for you. Don't know how it is where you are. It's freezing here. Yes, Luke, I got your email. Super excited to connect with you. I will get onto that. And if it's not me that speaks to you, it will be one of the other team members. And they're all wonderfully passionate coaches. So we will certainly make contact with you. Like being in a freezer, Bubbles. Bubbles, let me know if you have any direct questions or whether you'd just like a reading before more people show up in the room. Luke, my friend, we're only going to use shadow cards, so let's get ready for that. We'll go with two. So a two-part story, usually 2 layers. Let me know if you've got something going on or you're trying to solve a problem or you have a question in your heart space that has been causing indecision, torment, delight, whatever it is. And that will make the reading a little bit more accurate for you. We did get the duck, which is number 7. Duck comes through when sometimes we're putting up too many barriers towards feeling loved, being loved, finding more people to love, being in love with everything. The duck really says we can make this easy, this connection place. We can make it fun. We can also make it joyful and playful, and sometimes a little bit childlike. I love the idea, and it's very challenging at times, isn't it? I love the idea that there's so many people in this world that we can love. And I get that when you're healing, you do need a bit of an isolated space, and that can get very lonely. But it's really like when you're in capacity and you have the unconditional love for yourself, and there's no bounds on that, there's no boundaries, and you're dedicated to look after yourself no matter what comes your way, you are the best equipped and the best skilled to looking after yourself in all times, in all situations, then love becomes so much more easier with other people. It's when there's pain, distress, hurt, and we're not actually trusting ourselves to look after ourselves because we fucked it up in the past and we didn't protect ourselves from that one and we made a wrong decision there and where was my intuition and all this sort of stuff. But when the duck comes through, and I was talking to one of my ancestors the other day about this, the duck comes through to really say, like, there's a lot of people to love. It doesn't have to be complex. Find something that connects you, find a common interest, find the love center, protect it, and go towards it with playfulness, knowing that no one can really hurt you unless you give them your consent. And if they do hurt you, you can repair as quickly as possible if you're in charge of your own self-care fully, which means it's not about them. I'm not going to blame them for having an abusive, narcissistic, whatever. It's really like, well, can I love them as they are? How would I do that? How am I going to protect myself? What are my boundaries? How am I going to look after myself? Because this could be a little bit risky. Or is a full-hearted, you're super safe, I'm going to love the shit out of you. And this is what I need at all times to be sovereign, healed, happy, content within myself, right? Because that is what we bring to relationships, hopefully. The turtle, it's actually a really beautiful reading for you, Luke. The turtle says, you got to swim freely and you got to be prepared to do it on your own at times. So this is interesting, and I feel something else coming through now. It's easy to love, but you got to be willing to have your independence. And we can hold the polarity in that of, I need a lot of people to love. That's part of who I am. And if that's part of who you are, Luke, it is part of who most of us are, if we don't get too traumatized along the way by making decisions based on other people's needs. But the turtle says, loving people doesn't have to be codependent. Loving people doesn't have to be this, oh, I give up everything that I need and want for you, and you are my everything. Even that's a friend, a lover, a family member. It can actually be, I'm on my own course, I'm swimming freely, independently, I know where I'm going, I delight in how I do it, and there's so many people to love along the way. The discourse shows up when we expect it to be a certain way, we get very rationalized in but they need to respect me and they didn't show up and they whatever. But it's like, if we're swimming freely, as the turtle does, we can just find the connection points and know intuitively when there's a bit of space happening, when it's coming back together, and not have this very, look, we've been programmed this way, this rigid, like, who are you to me and what does that mean and what are the rules? What are my rules that I need to uphold you with, and what are my expectations so that you don't cross my boundaries, so therefore it's a violation? We can get very transactional, can't we? But both the duck and the turtle are not speaking of that at all. This is not about structure. This seems to be about finding an effortless, meaningful way to connect deeply without those rules and maybe holding people at those expectations, but having full ownership of who you are, what you need, communicating that, making that top of the list at all times, not in a self-preserving way, but in a self-nourishing way. so that you can, as that turtle, go, look, I know I need to go over here, and I know that person's not coming with me. So I'm going to do my best at respectfully saying, like, I'm going to swim. I need to be free. I'm going over there. I'll see ya. And the duck sort of delights in, oh, there's people here. These people are cool. I'm going to love the shit out of these people. This is great. But then when I'm going over there, I can have the same energy. But if I'm worried about keeping these people and attaching to these people and making sure that they love me and I love them, and then when I go into the next room, what am I doing about them? Do I need to bring them with me, or what's going on here? You understand? It can get very transactional is a word, structured, controlled. And remember, control is just a mechanism for fear. So underneath the control is fear. Fear of. The duck and the turtle swim freely. They are not afraid to swim in their own waters. They both have predators, though. So they do move quickly when something is a threat to them. And maybe that's just the way, right? Maybe that's just the way for you. Everybody's different, right? Some people go, nah, too hard, I'm off, and that serves them. Other people go, oh, this is hard, I'm in, right? It's about honoring who you are in this moment, what resources you have, where you're trying to get to, what version of yourself you're trying to be, what people you believe are the best support network around you, and prioritizing that, not for the sake of anyone else's understanding, because a lot of people won't understand that because it's not their life. I hope that makes sense. I hope it's relevant for you. Please chime in. Let me know. Let me know if you want more clarity, if it doesn't resonate, all of those things. Please don't be afraid to do that. A follow on from the crane bubbles. Let's do it. Oh, my cards are guiding me to create from the quantum space. You're getting distracted. Okay. That happens, right? I wonder what's distracting you. Yeah? The crane does have that sort of light, frivolous energy to it. So that makes sense. Oh, 3D life. Here's more distraction, my dear. Monkey comes in. Perfect, right? Trust in your guidance, not your distractions. So you can be moving around. I find creative people are more prone to starting this, going over there, moving over here, saying that, not finishing a sentence. Particularly when we're heading into that neurodivergent flare, we have that ability to side quest, get distracted, move over here. It's not particularly a bad thing, I don't think. But Monkey comes in to say, you can have all that energy and you can move around, but let's always understand the bigger picture. Because if the bigger picture is I'm trying to get to there, I'm involved in my own healing, I am trying to facilitate a better life, I'm trying to upgrade my 3D life, which I believe you're at, you're going to need a lot of energy. Monkeys are pack animals for sure. So aligning with the energy around you to make those improvements and making sure you remind yourself what the mission is. And the mission is, right now, I'm on a mission to improve my 3D life. These are my steps. And we're not meant to take those steps in a linear fashion for progress. That takes a lot of discipline, a lot of grounding. Depending on where your resources are, it becomes easier, harder, tormentingly difficult. But the more that you add structure to your brain, you can let that monkey move around in its own way, which I think is nice. So people put so much pressure on themselves to do it in a way that they think is normal, right? And that would be the way that school taught you or traumatized you into behaving. But you get to create your own map here. So if you said, I want to make these improvements in my 3D life, and I'd like to make them in 3 months, please, and you put it all up on a board and you have all these action steps, I don't mind if you do one over here and one over there and one over there and one over here. It doesn't mean you have to do it in a linear way. It just means that things are getting done and you're playing around in the meantime. Sometimes when that distractive nervous energy comes in, you're also sensing a heightened abundance rate. So most people, when things are starting to work and they're starting to see synchronicity and they've got more resources in their body and they can see things happening and they're having this experience, they go, oh my God, it's happening. Oh my God, it's happening. So they use that heightened energy in weird ways. That's okay. That's your body trying to hold either what is coming in your future timeline, because intuitive people can see things coming before they happen. That's a premonition. You might be able to sense it in your body, like, oh, change is coming, I can feel it. Or it might be already here. And the monkey is just discharging that energy. It's a bit of a frenzy. But be careful of what you're labeling as distractions. Is it still on the way? Are you still doing things that are in alignment? Are you preparing for something? Are you doing that in your own way? Or are you judging things based on what other people would think about what you're doing? Don't worry about any of that. We're not in that territory. That's ridiculous, right? So we know that that's ridiculous. Everybody does things in different ways. So I hope that helps, my love. So we're going from crane, the call to leadership, big energy, graceful, to monkey. The energy is picking up, right? So as abundance grows, also your shadow grows. So your ability to seek opportunities, to take opportunities, to be energetic are increasing. Your ability to sabotage that too is right there with you. So just be mindful of that. Okay, moving into monkey. All right. Alyssa, is that how I say your name? Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining me. I'm not sure if I've seen you in here before. It's very exciting. Of course, a reading, my darling. No problem. Emily, darling, welcome. So good to see you here. Alyssa, 2. Big cards, strong cards. So first is eagle. Eagle comes with a warning. Yes, powerful, mighty, predator bird, sacred bird. What I know about working with beautiful students that have an eagle totem. Elisa. Got it. Elisa. Yeah. Good morning, my friend. Welcome. What I know about working with beautiful students with an eagle totem, they are powerful, usually more powerful than they are acknowledging at the time that they find that totem. They hold responsibility, right? They hold more responsibility than others, because the bird that can fly highest in the sky has responsibility for the order of things. You won't really find an eagle that's cruelly hunting for sport and just killing things for the sake of it. Like, this is power, this is responsibility. So we must carry that sense of responsibility with humility. That basically says, don't hold that sense of responsibility over other people. Don't use a condescending attitude to say, well, you're not taking responsibility. Here I am taking it all. Hold that sense of keen vision, because all eagles have keen vision. They can see things on a higher level than other people. Blessing and a burden at the same time. Hold the blessing and the burden with neutrality and say, I have been given a gift and I must use my power well. And what does that mean? If I'm holding more responsibility, what am I going to do with it? How can I lead others rather than move into the burden of, this is too much, I can't do this? I think particularly for eagles, they can love the responsibility, feel called to action, called to leadership, but then they can go into victim voice, which says, this is too hard, no one's supporting me, I don't get it. There's also a shadow aspect to eagles. They can be not very well disciplined. They can be up in higher pitches, intentions, how are we going to change the world? It could be so amazing, but that, and here comes the second card, which is Kookaburra. the action steps, the structure, the discipline to get that bigger picture into our physical world is sometimes lacking. And you have to be very careful with eagle totems that if you're not grounded, you will go into higher states of consciousness that can have you very ungrounded. So you can be talking massive high concepts, but it's very clear that you're not doing anything about it. So that could be fantasizing about this huge business you want to open, but you're not actually doing anything day to day. Kookaburra comes in with a sharp message. Again, a predator bird, but there's no fuss with Kookaburra. Kookaburra is take the action, do it now. You'll sabotage yourself if you sit there and dream without pulling it into action. So if the goal is I want to be in the pinnacle health of my life, what are we doing about it? If the goal is to open a business, to serve others, to be an artist, a full-time artist, whatever it is, what are we doing about it? Are we doing the mundane steps? Are we taking that disciplinary action every single day so that that eagle can soar even higher and you can stand in integrity around this is my vision, I can see it, and I'm also grounded in the earthly consistency to get it there. Powerful birds, Elisa, very powerful. So sounds like something big is going on for you. We just have to make sure that we keep you grounded and take the action, all the boring stuff. Yeah, it's like doing your taxes, eating healthy, sleep routine, showing up to it, doing all the research, taking those actions every single day can be where a lot of us fall short, particularly creative, spiritual people that are on a high plane. They can experience it all. And what I don't like seeing is spiritual people that complain a lot about the system and this, and it's not doing well, and it should be like this, but there's no action around that. There's just the knowing that something needs to change and the talking of it. But what are we doing about it? What are the actual actions? What are the evidence? What is the 3D life evidence that you're working towards that? That can be very difficult. It's overwhelming at times. I hope that helps. Lovely. Does that resonate for you? It's all good to say no. Okay, cool. Action plan for you, my love. Let's do it. Don't forget to collaborate. Okay, who else on the list? Narak is a door. Is that your name? It is so beautiful. A card for you, of course. And then Anna. Hi, Anna. First time here. So good to meet you. Where are you tuning in from? What hemisphere? What continent? What beautiful country? Okay, it's a lot of talking, so I'll just sip my tea. Emily, did you want a card, my love? I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, but I'm going to pronounce it as Narak. The Jong. The Jong talks about slowing down, separating your stress from others, usually relates to a beautiful pack animal. And there's a sense of joy and connection, belonging that seem quite innate. You got this one last time, right? So if you got this one last time, we have not integrated, absorbed, or taken action through this card. Sometimes it's that you're aware of the concept, you're starting to integrate the idea, you're witnessing and observing, but it's not fully understood yet. So if we keep on getting the same cards, sometimes the missing link is there's no action being taken, but I kind of get the stalking your shadow part. That's why the deck is called that. It's that you're trying to understand a concept, you're seeing it mirrored in your life, but you just need more evidence to fully get it. So it sounds like you're understanding. Yep. So do we need to slow down a little bit more? Do we need to separate your stress from other people's? You know what I like to ask my guys, because I get into nitty-gritty, is how much of the stress I'm feeling in my body is mine, and I want a percentage rating, right? 20% mine, 80% that person's. Whoa, okay, let's deal with that. 80% mine, 10% over here, 5% over here. Okay, I get that. And sometimes you can't completely detach from the stress because some of it is yours or some of it's your partner's and you live together. But this message needs to come through because there's probably some shadow programs buried deep somewhere that says, I need to take responsibility for other people's stress. That's part of my self-worth. That's part of how I relate. That's part of who I am. And certainly, if you don't learn to slow down and have faith and trust that everything will still get done, your nervous system will show you that. So your nervous system will show you that through any fragment of burnout. So if you're in fight and flight too often, if you're getting tired and wired, if you're more likely to go into worry and fear, if your sleep patterns are being disrupted, if you feel like you're not hungry, you're too stressed to eat, eating becomes not important, you don't get hungry in the mornings, you crave stimulants, sweet foods, anything that will pick you up quickly, and we have a whole range of other stuff as well. Go ask the questions, Luke, because other people in the group chat are going to help you as well. We have some beautiful Patreon members in here that have done a lot of work on themselves, and they're very good at providing you support. So girls, you know who you are. Bubbles, Emily, please help anyone that asks questions when I'm channeling. So what do we need to do for Jugong, Narak? What are the action steps? What do you think? Is it hacking into your day so that you find those slow times? Best way to do that is sit in silence with no distractions, 5-10 minutes, do it a few times a day. So there's something big going on, right? So Jugong comes in to say, even though it's big, you can swim at your own pace, right? Is it good big or is it bad big? Or there's probably a mixture of both. But I find Jugong comes through when I'm so excited and so passionate about something that I'm likely to fuck it up because I'm going so quickly and I'm so excited and I want to keep going and I want to burn the candle and I want to stay up all night and I want to keep working on it and it's, oh my God, it's amazing. Jugong goes, nah, if you burn yourself out, it will be worth nothing. Yep. Yeah. Bubbles has got it. Jugong is also like a puppy in the ocean. So we can do it playfully. We can do it with others. We can relax. We can take time. We can signal to our system that we're in holiday mode. And this is excellent for the liver, which is connected to the nervous system. How would you be reacting if you were on holiday? Which is a lovely hacking question that I like to give myself. Would you be like, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, there's a meeting? No, you'd scratch all your meetings. You'd scratch all your have-tos. You would have this, what are we doing today? I just feel like I want this kind of food today, or I feel like I want to go for a swim today, or I feel like I just want to be inside cozy today. That holiday feeling is what your body greatly needs for it to come out of high cortisol, because we know that high cortisol for too long is going to get chronic, which is low cortisol, which means you won't get hungry, you won't sleep well, you will start to feel lifeless. Jugong gives plenty of time for play and plenty of time for other people, which signals to your body, we're safe, we're abundant, we're in holiday mode. Yep. Okay, so it could be bad, could be good. How are you going to separate your play in the waves, Bubbles? You got it. Thank you for the support, Bubbles. It's beautiful. How are you going to separate your energy from other people's first? You got any skills, tools, techniques for that? Got any boundaries that have been voiced, communicated, confronted with your people? We use a technique in Patreon and all through my courses actually around what are your resources, tuning into your body. Therefore, what do you have for other people? And we have some rules in there. If your tank isn't at least 60, 70, 80% full, then no giving to other people, because your sole responsibility is to get your resources up. So you're in a more creative, playful, robust, abundant state rather than giving to others from a leaking cup, which usually speaks of fear and scarcity for me. It's like, well, I have to look after you because you're so broken and this is going on for you and that's so bad. But just being honest about, like, I really see what you're going through, and that's pretty dense. I have to look after myself here, but I could give you some of my time. I'm here for you, but I can't actually help you with that, or I can't actually solve that problem for you. You're an artist. I love that. Wow. Oh, I can push a little love heart. That's so fun. Okay. Good. So, for your beautiful art to be in the world, please protect yourself. Please protect it. We need artists, we need healers, we need space holders, leaders, from someone that's willing to hold someone's hand, genuinely kind and caring, to those support workers that are on the front line, to those that are pursuing a compassionate framework to work with others, those that want to better the world just by creating something beautiful, creating something thought-provoking, rather than just being part of a machine. Protect that, please. Protect that. That is so important. So I say to our beautiful Patreon members all the time, if you are literally having people with any kind of higher needs than your ego wanting to protect itself, it's very important that you have the support network around you, the boundaries and the structure to make sure that that is a beautiful lifelong pursuit for you, for whatever capacity you have. And please let us help you. I mean, everyone going through the depths of a healing journey, just to be a healer, anyone that can be a full-time artist, I think should be given a golden plaque. But it's difficult, and we often don't have industries and people protecting us and people telling us that it's really fucking important what you're doing, but it is. And you might save someone's life or change someone's life just when they look at your art and go, wow, what kind of person can dream that into reality? It's very important. You need a support network. You need high resources. You need whatever you need to do that job, and not in an egoic way, more in a way that is understanding that if you're serving with a higher purpose and you want to be useful for humanity, it's really important. So work at it from that frame point and say, I'd really like to help you, but I can't. I really need to just organize this thing. This pursuit of art is so important to me that I won't be partaking in that. And I really need you to support me or not, but this is what I'm doing. This is what I believe in. And this is what I'm communicating to the world, right? It's very important. And the more support, the better. Oh, love that. Hairdresser, artist, energy healer. Yes. So the more you step into that role, the more you are going to need to govern yourself from a place of holistic, multidimensional purpose and understand your energetic needs. So prioritizing that. The self-care of a healer is way different to someone that's just in retail and they don't care about it, or they work for someone else, right? I was saying to my business coach the other day, the sense of like going to a job I didn't care about, making money, doing it someone else's way and just not fucking up is totally different to upholding a set of values, trying to be useful in the world and having a spiritual purpose to help people. The self-care is completely different. If I'm not on top of my own needs, then my vibration can lower very quickly, and it's not worth it for me to go back into the fight and flight response of the 3D life. It's almost traumatizing for me. So maybe the way that I take care of myself to be able to do this job is completely foreign to other people, but that's just what I have to do, right? It's part of what I need to do. Okay, so a little bit of channeling there. So I've lost the order, but sounds like Jong will serve you even further. Hi, Kylie. Welcome, darling. I believe Emily said yes, please. And then Anna. Anna will do first. Help me with the order. Oh, Anna. And Emily. All right, Anna, my darling. Hope you're tuning in. Black Panther, big energy. Black Panther is a call to the divine feminine. Yep. A passageway through your shadow to invoke a far more powerful divine feminine force within you. Black Panther is no joke. So the students I have that get Black Panther as a birth totem are in for a very difficult, eye-opening, life-changing, huge journey to find their power. This is big cat power as well. So one of the fear mechanisms that Black Panther will teach you about is anything you fear within other people, anything you have a problem with, anything you're blaming them for, anything you don't like is a mirror. If you see someone working towards something, having a powerful expression, that's something that you want. The Black Panther will be like, oh, why do I find that so difficult? It's because you want something like that. You are far more powerful than you're giving yourself credit for, and you're probably afraid of that power, as we all should be. But remember, divine feminine power can also be nourishing, nurturing, divinely intuitive, powerfully intuitive, beyond probably what you thought you were capable of. And with all the big cats, there is a strength to the body that needs to be embodied. So all of my darling students that have big cat totems learn that they must develop their physical form in order to hold the power that they are embracing. So that can be a challenge within itself. They are usually structurally strong. But for a woman, there is all of this very shitty programming around what the body should be, what it should look like. Big cats need to be strong. They need to be in their body, feeling their muscles, developing the strength of the joints so that they can feel within that big cat power. So it's really like build yourself up, make yourself strong. And when you know you're ready to hunt, which means you're going after your goals, you're achieving what you're here to achieve, you're going after your mission, you are strong and focused, so that the mind needs to be trained in some way. It needs to be disciplined towards holding power, expansion, growth, and it comes in bursts with big cat. It's like, go, give it everything you need, and then chill out and relax. There's nothing to worry about. Predator animals don't really have to worry about being on fear all the time. They are hunt and then relax, and then hunt and then relax. So what big cats mainly get into shadow-wise is hunting too often, never taking a break, never taking a rest, and forgetting the physical form. The stronger the physical form in, the more the divine feminine can reach into that. So we get that balance of masculine and feminine as well. Monkey comes through for you too, Anna. So if you align that Black Panther focus, which is so, so powerful and so beautiful, remember to hold focus and know what a distraction is, right? So is that part of my mission and my focus, or is that a distraction over here, and does it serve me or not? Distractions we want to be skeptical on. Nourishing side quests I'm happy with, as long as it ties into the bigger journey. So the big cats are really mission obsessed. They can be. They are, well, I don't have time for any of that. I've only got time for this one thing that I am here to do. The big cats stalk all the time. They're stalking other people. They're stalking their mission. They're stalking big goals, big aspirations. And you don't need to push, control, force all the time. The monkey does come in as a reminder to have a bit of fun, to work with other people, as long as it's collaborating, getting you to where you're going, and it's not powerless. You don't have to pretend to be a small person to get it done. We want you to be big panther, knowing that there's all sorts of animals around you and you can collaborate and work with them freely. But big cats can't pretend to be anything else but what they are. Thanks for helping, Bubbles. Love it. We get it, Luke. We totally get it. Your soul's exhausted, probably because it's been waiting for us to connect to it and its mission for a long time. And I get expansion. Remember, change and expansion is meant to be stressful. That's the nature of it. It's not forever. So please look after yourself. If you're in an expansive chapter, just be frank with yourself. You need extra sleep. You need more food. You need extra nourishment. You need stability. You need security. You need boundaries. You need good people around you. I think just naming it and saying, this is an expansive phase. This is why I feel so exhausted. I'm going to double down on looking after myself so I can get this thing done and prioritize that over everything else, right? That's important. And finding that holiday feeling, knowing that it's important for you, and just being frank about where you're at. I'm glad it resonates, Anna. I'm very excited for you. Let me know how that Black Panther energy is showing up or what it feels like in your body. Emily, my darling. Cool. 33, Fairy Wren. So don't be afraid to be promiscuous with your projects. Float around, sample some new things, get some more info. Right? This is not big cat energy. We are not looking at the spiritual mission, the greater purpose right now. We're actually floating around and collecting energy from everywhere. Let's just clear out obligation, duty, what you think you should be doing, all of those ideas around the way that society wants you to do it. Fairy Wren says, hop around, delight in what you're doing, knowing that there's a project over here, and there's a project over there, and there's a person over here, and I'm going to have lunch with this one, and just allow that energy to shift, go with it. Most people are too stubborn to actually go with it. Fairy Wren phase won't last forever. You'll notice when your body doesn't have capacity for the new experiences anymore. So dance around in it until the card changes. But I know you're creative, so maybe start something over here, look at that over there, have the messy piles or whatever you got going on, and just let Fairy Wren show you the little bursts of energy that you have. So that tiny little bird moves around. It's most famous for being very promiscuous with its partners, actually. So the females make a nest and are visited by many males, and the males visit many females, and that's totally fine. So let go of the rules, let go of the shoulds and the woulds, and just delight in that energy of moving around in your projects, in your people, in your environments, and just sample different things. Feeling the Wren. Excellent. All right. Let me know if I've forgotten anyone. How are we all feeling? You're connecting well. I love that. Hi, Aurora. Thank you for joining me. We've got a little bit of time left, Aurora. Would you like a reading? And you've already put, can I have a card? So let's do that. All right, Aurora. If you guys love this style of live stream, we do this in Patreon a lot. We have coaching sessions, Q&As, readings, and then everyone gets quite connected and you get to know everyone. It's a beautiful environment away from social media as well, so it can be a little bit more focused, I guess. Aurora, the pheasant. Not sure if you have pheasants where you are, but the pheasant is, as we know, stunning. It's also a bird that's very ruthless in the way that it survives. So take that ruthlessness and apply it to the people around you and make sure that you're surrounded by people that see your beauty. Hi, Steph. All right, don't let me forget you. I'm going to pull you a card. So I'm wondering Is everyone around you in your inner circle and maybe an outer circle, are they seeing your beauty or are they criticizing you and seeing everything that's bad, right? The pheasant says, I don't want you to kick him out. I want you to take that ruthlessness, that ability to survive and thrive, use your words, your communication techniques, your boundaries, and your inner knowing to say, are they seeing my beauty and can I see beauty in them? Or are we getting into this shadowy place of nitpicking and whatever it is? I want you to voice what you need. And sometimes it's just a conversation of like, hey, I'm trying my best and I really just need you to support me. And the ways that you can support me are you can cheerlead me, you can see the beauty in what I'm doing, you can encourage me, you can listen, but I really don't need you criticizing me. I really don't need you blaming or shaming or judging me. That doesn't actually serve me. I know it might serve other people and it might act like a motivating force, but for me, it does not. And I really need to just be surrounded by beauty. So there are ways that you can love me. And I would love to offer that to you as well. Can we change the channel here? Can we shift our perspective towards just being in celebration of each other? I feel like it's just one or two people that are just not being what you need them to be. Cool. So communicate the ones that can receive your truth, communicate the ones that can't, right? Part of accountability and self-responsibility is saying, look, I know we're not on the same level right now, but I actually need this thing. If you can't deliver it or you don't understand what I'm saying, that's fine. I just won't be engaging in this behavior anymore. So as I say with soul contract work, find the sweet spot that works for people. If they're likely to criticize you over the phone, then say, hey, I won't be picking up the phone unless you have something nice to say, but I'm happy to text back and check in with you, or I'm happy to get on a voice call if we're going to be more behaved. So I reckon call out the projections, right? Show people that you're observant, that you're taking responsibility, and don't be bossy, but be ruthless in what you need. Sometimes I just say to people, hey, that's a projection. I'm pretty sure that's more about you than about me. Can we clarify that? Because that doesn't serve me at all, that you're projecting your fears onto me when I'm just trying to tell you how my day is going. I think calling it and using the word, don't use the word to manipulate. We don't need to use therapy language to manipulate anyone. We just need to say, hey, was that a projection? Because I know about your stuff and that feels like it's more about you because it doesn't have anything to do with what I'm telling you about. So if it is a projection, do you mind calling that within yourself, taking responsibility for it and doing your best to not project onto me next time? And also, are we active listening? Are we talking about the difficult parts? Because that's really important to me. That makes me feel safe. And I totally get that you don't have capacity. And if you don't have capacity and it's my need, then maybe I'll create some distance until you do have capacity, right? So having these conversations, making sure that if there's beauty around you and there's a couple of situations that are diluting that experience, then just being very mindful. Inner circle here, outer circle there. Whoever you give access to you all the time at the depths of vulnerability are the ones that can handle the truth, correct? Then we have an outer circle where you're not so heavily being vulnerable, you're not speaking to them all the time, but they're there as a connection point, making sure that they're beautiful also, they see your beauty, but at times they fall short of being able to express that or whatever it is. So just make some changes in that, but pheasant is important for us as we thrive. So they will do whatever it takes to make sure that their babies are born to the point where they kick birds out of their nest, lay their eggs in other birds' nests, and the other bird actually raises their babies, which I think is crazy, but it must work, right? Just like, here, I don't have time for this. Can you raise my baby? Thanks. Oh my gosh, you're on Turtle Island. That is just so cool. Use your voice, Aurora. And community, let's do this. Okay. Astral healing. Steph, thank you for being here. Have I done a reading for you before, my love? I feel like you've been in here before. Astral Earthling. Sorry, the screen's a little far away. So, 41 is the beaver. I think this came up in a reading we did on Patreon the other day where we all used the deck. That was super fun. Beaver says, confirmed you are a hard worker. Correct. You have the ability to pursue, to work through many obstacles, to keep on working day and night and have that strong ethic, right? Great, you were. So Beaver is coming up again. Make sure you're working in the right areas for the right reasons. You asked about your son. Correct. Thank you for reminding me. I appreciate that. So are you working in the right ways for the right reasons? What are your intentions? Are you working at the things that are getting you towards your goals? Or are you distracting yourself by working yourself to the bone in areas that are not actually aligned for you, creating stress? Are you working hard for other people without an equal energetic exchange for that? Energetic exchange. So whether that's financial, whether that's respect codes, whether that's I'll do this for you and then I'm going to ask you a favor, give and receive. So I'm wondering where this is showing up, this message again. So are you working hard and being resourceful for everybody else, fixing their problems, doing everything for them, or are you doing it for your own reasons? And can we check in on that? It's not your responsibility to do that unless you take responsibility for it. And where are we working the smartest? I can get caught up in this shadow aspect when I stress about the little things and distract myself with all of that while I avoid the big things, right? And we all do that. It's like, oh, there's this scary thing that I know I need to do. I'm just going to go over here and like clean the house again and like do all this other stuff. And some of that is physical rest, creative rest, and some of it is distraction. So there's something in the air about us working on the things that mean a lot to us and maybe putting to rest the other stuff. Because if we stress about the small things that don't mean that much, then we could actually be further intentionally aligned with the things that will actually create more resources, breakthroughs, connection points. So I feel like I've just stepped into more balance in the last few months. Yeah. Okay. So at no point do we want to be busy mum mentality. Please don't be the busy female. Please don't be the one that goes here, goes there. Da, 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 da. It seems to be a very toxic program for some of us. It's a masculinized program around productivity, equaling our worth. The beaver can do whatever you want it to do. You are multidimensional. You can multitask like a, right? Use that ability to wait, plan, structure, prepare, and then execute. I see a lot of women, as soon as they get afraid of something, intimidated by something, stressed about something, they go and do all this other stuff. And I think, what are you doing? Stick to the plan, wait for divine timing, prepare yourself. If the plan is in the future and you know it's coming for you, don't prepare by running yourself thin by doing these other things that you think are important. Prepare, structurize, and then prepare your energy. How do we do that? We sleep, we eat, we meditate, we read nature, we sit with our guides, we pull cards, we nourish. Yep. Wait for divine timing. Execute when you feel the door is open. But if the door is closed, there's no need to, in a panic, scrub the room a million times and wait for the door to open with some level of worthiness. I feel like there's a program here around worthiness, right? How busy you are does not equal your worthiness. That's a really old paradigm. You must do what is in alignment with you and your soul and your needs. If your body is signaling to you, yo, we are burning out, we need rest, and you're like, I'm just going to do this one last thing, I'm just going to do this one last thing, it's not going to work. Be careful where you put that energy. Work hard when something is in alignment for you and you're given the green light and you have the resources. Be mindful of when your body signals to you that you're out of energy. Shift, adapt, be flexible in pivoting. Pivoting means, right, this is a dead end now. This is too much. I can't control this. I'm going to stop. Yep, leave it until you have the energy. I could be tuning into his energy. So call it out, name it, have the conversation, right? I feel like you're being super busy for the sake of it. Are you avoiding something? Is there something you're afraid of? Is there something that I'm doing? Is there a way that we can use that energy for better reasons? You've been in the yin. Okay. It is your husband, my dear. Can we take some pressure off him? I wonder what he is fueled by. A program of fear will create more motivation than a program of love. So a program of love is, I know I can do it and I will at the right time. A program of fear is, I don't think I can do it. What if it doesn't work out? And then we go faster, right? And remember, when someone is getting low, they go faster, right? Because the adrenals kick in. Hi, Heather D. Have I missed anyone? I hope not. Thank you for joining me here, Heather D. You got a great name. All right, the crane for you, my darling. So if you want to lead other people, if you want to inspire other people, do so by being you authentically all the way through and doing things your way, the way that it's aesthetically pleasing for you, physically pleasing for you, pleasurable for you, and not by control. So a controlling leader will say, hey, you have to do it this way. You have to do it like me. Why aren't you paying attention? Over here, you need to be paying attention. The crane is off creating. And in that effortless delight of creativity, it is influencing other people. It's like you look over and you think, wow, there's something about that person and the way that they're doing things. And I'm so attracted to, inspired by, delighted in. It's like when you are people watching, when you're observing people in your office or at home or in your community, there is some people you know that are embodying something that is so important to them. And it could just be the way that they dress, the way that they walk, the way that they speak. But cranes, when you see them, you think, you are different. And that is so refreshing. But cranes often hold back from being different and unique in every way because of fear of judgment and criticism and no one will understand me and all that sort of stuff. Don't be afraid to get attention, not by needing it, but by just being yourself. So I hope that is relevant to something that you're going through. It might be a way that you're presenting yourself. It might be, have you lost that capacity to be unique, to shine? Sometimes it's like just being someone that puts effort into being the most colorful person in an office, or being well dressed in a situation where other people are just not putting in effort, of wanting a refined experience, whether it's like the most beautiful food, the most beautiful products, and putting effort into that creative force, putting effort into all of it so that you feel like you're embodying your values, your belief systems, just by going out and finding, the most beautiful cup of coffee you could possibly find out there. The one where the barista gives a shit, where they're using the right milks, where they're putting coffee art on it. It's like the crane will go out and seek out that experience because it's meaningful for them. And in that pursuit, they are being their unique selves. And it can be small things, but it can also just be representing something that you don't even know what you're representing, but to other people, they have this, that person is so different. And I love that. And they're inspired. It's like, yeah, I want a perfect cup of coffee today. Or I feel like I should wear more color. Or what am I doing with my hair? Nothing. Look at that person that's putting all this effort in. Or, yeah, it can be a very tangible thing. Okay. So if you're lost in your creative self, please don't put pressure on yourself to be an artist right now. You don't need to paint a masterpiece. You don't need to have a million projects on the go. Start with bringing in beauty into your home. Get your wardrobe out. Find the things that really help you to be yourself. Cook the meals that you feel are creatively inspiring. So usually for me, that's something that's a little bit different or a little bit challenging. Sometimes I eat through color, through how it looks on the plate, and bringing in those aspects that are important to me. So it can be anything from going to the op shop, finding something that just speaks beauty to you, bringing it into your home, rejigging everything, making that beauty around you. Bring out everything that feels creatively beautiful to you. Books, cards, smells, sights, sounds, and just make it beautiful. And again, have some intention about when you're going outside. So for creative people, if you want to spend 3 hours getting ready for something because you feel that's a meaningful pursuit for you, great. That's beautiful. If you want to make something more aligned with what speaks to you, then grab your favorite things, colors, shapes, symbols, and anything that is just drab and boring, put it to the side, put it away in a box, and just start there. Create something beautiful, just with something very small. Yeah. Okay. All right, Heather. So in your beautiful role of caring for someone, how can we bring creativity into that? Is it creating something together? Is it talking to your beautiful friend who's at the end of their journey about creative ideas? It could be bringing flowers into the room, colors that resonate, showing them artwork, having beautiful things around them. And for you as well, just showing up in a new outfit saying, this really spoke to me today. I wanted to wear purple. Do you like purple? I wanted you to see me in purple. And just having those little bits of spark in there. Did I lose you? Please let me know. Okay, I'm about to wrap it up. Much love to you, Bubbles. Thank you for being here. Anyone that didn't get a reading, let me know. Shoot me a message. Comment on this in the comment section. Thank you for being here. I really love doing this with you guys. I'm not sure how many more live streams I'll be doing through YouTube, but I do 3 live streams a month in our Patreon portal. You can join there for as little as $5 a month and still get a bunch of content. We also have another coaching session every month by Imogen, who's one of our coaches. She's a powerhouse. Please join us there if you'd like extra support. Absolutely no obligation. You can start a free trial too. So if you just want to come in and sample what we do, then please do so. If it's not for you, tap out. No obligation at all. But if you're looking for more guidance, more support, and a community of beautiful, creative, spiritual, warm, inclusive, respectful people, then that's what we're trying to create in there. So link is always on the homepage for the YouTube channel. If you go into the bio section, it'll be in there. Check us out. Send me a message. Send me an email anytime. if you need extra support. And I love you all so much. Thank you for being here, and have a beautiful day. Thank you.